Hello, you're welcome to my channel again. I really appreciate you for patronizing my channel. Kindly press the like button, click the notification button, subscribe, and please, most importantly, endeavor to share these films because they will benefit people a lot. This morning, I will be talking again. Let me call this one addendum, an addendum to my earlier 6 videos on farming, which I titled Farming is Unprofitable, parts 1 to 6. But I discovered that I still needed to do this addendum, which I can call part 7 now, because I did say that I was going to end it on part 6, but I still remember some very vital points that I needed to add. Let me start by saying again, farming is unprofitable. The exceptions to the rules. The exceptions to the rule. Though I did mention skeletally in some parts of the part 6 that my talking about farming being unprofitable is not to particularly discourage people from farming. However, I have to classify farming into 2 groups: subsistent and commercial farming. Subsistent and commercial farming. Everything I have said concerning farming not being unprofitable has to do with commercial farming. However, I am going to be addressing the exceptions. Is it all farming that is unprofitable? Not really. And what are the exceptions? Which farming is profitable, or what are the exceptions? Well, I've covered one of it, exception 1, which I'm going to talk about now. I've covered it somehow, but not as clearly as this in my previous videos. Subsistent farming, that is the farming which Yorubas call aroje, or something you just do to feed yourself, to care for your family. Subsistent, you are not aiming it at being sold for profit. That one is profitable, at least onto your stomach. Very, very important to note that. So, because you are not, the reason why it is profitable is this: you may not particularly recover how much you spent on the farm itself. Let's take 2 examples. Yam farm, for instance. If you spend, let's say, 50,000 on a farmland, maybe you do maybe 500 tubers of yam, and you spend 50,000. It is not all those yams that will produce big yams. In fact, what I recommend for a family of 4 is this, because most of us don't apply inputs and we don't follow good agricultural practices as taught by our various farming schools, which are actually good, that can improve your yield and all that. Some of us don't apply fertilizer, we don't even keep the farm clean enough, we don't apply pesticides and all that. You'll now discover that the yields from that farm will depend more on nature. The rains might come on time, might come late and all that. Animals will eat their own. Ordinarily, the pests also will do their own. So let's assume that you just do like 500 yams, but what I recommend for a family of 4 is 1,000. Like I said, the yams will not equally produce. So now let's assume out of those 1,000 yams, you may be lucky if you depend on manual, that's very important, depending on manual labor, as well as, not applying those things. You just trust that your land is fertile enough to to bring good yield. So you might spend, let's say, 50,000. If you spend 50,000, 50,000 cannot do 1,000 heaps. So I'm just telling you, I'm just giving it as an example. 50,000 cannot do 1,000. So, but you are not spending so heavily like the mechanized person who has a large farm and who has to pay many laborers, who have to do many things, buy chemicals, buy fertilizer, and all that. So the outcome might be that you may have like 2 to 300 average sized yams. That is an average yam that a family of 4 can cook once and it satisfies the entire family. The rest of about between 7 and 800 yams will be in different sizes. Some will just be like, you have to combine like 3, 4, or even 5. Sometimes you can even combine 10 before a family of 4 can feed, because they are not unique. Don't be taken away by what you see in the market. All those big yams, they are already sorted, and they are from different farms here and there. People selected the good ones, the big ones for sale, and eat the small ones themselves. So don't be carried away that your yams will be like that. So let's take fish farming, for instance, catfish. If you do forget about all those feasibility studies calculations that if each of your fish can actually weigh as much as 5 kg, 1.5 kg, 2.5 kg, they can tell you any figure. No matter how much you try, fishes don't grow equally, and so there will be casualties along the way. A lot gets dead before they even get to table size, and then a lot of things could happen. Disease can come and break out and everything perishes. But if they don't, you are lucky. But however, assuming that you even do everything that is necessary, you will still discover that my experience over 5 solid years of consistent fish farming, catfish farming, is that all these things they are telling you that your fish will be big and well, only few. If you stock like 100 of them, you may have like 5, 10 that will actually be very big. What happened to the remaining 90? Those ones will be in different sizes. The average size that I noticed since I've been doing farm fishing, I stand to be corrected, but from my own experience, after taking all the measures, even being an educated farmer who have been trained very well on how to rear fish and all these things, the average is 300 grams. Forget about the 1,000, 1 kg, 2 kg. Yes, a few, maybe 10, 15, 20 maximum. If you are lucky, maybe you have like 20 that are really big, that weighed very big, the shooters. And even some of the calamities with fish farmers is that what is sold to them, the fingerlings or jumbo, whatever they sold to them, the owners of the breeders, those who breed them from the egg to to the point of being sold, they have already selected the shooters. So you're only battling with the leftovers. That's the truth. It's not that they all would not have done well. It's not as if you would not have had a few more that will be very big, but they have taken away all the shooters. So there is this dishonesty there, corruption again, human corruption. So you will be battling with that. So my experience is that I did 12,000 of them that time, and they did to me. You could say they did well, but averagely, when I put everything together, it's 300. Um, it's 300 grams, not even not even 500 grams. So if they calculate for you like out of your 12,000, maybe 10,000 will be 1 kg and above, is a lie. Go and try it yourself. You don't need to be deceived. However, then on the let me leave that alone. Subsistence farming is now what I'm concerned with. So the good thing about it is that the fish will be available for you to eat. Like I said, you are not doing it for profit. So don't do so much. Just do enough that you will eat. And when your fish is ripe, maybe 3-4 months more after, please make sure you you dry them and stock them. Otherwise, you'll be feeding them for nothing. Even a point will come that you won't like how they behave. They might be dying one after the other. So if they overstay, so try and roast them and keep them for your use, so you can give out or sell whatever whatever you don't need, so that they don't get spoiled. So that's it. So subsistence farming, whether in maize, whether in yams, whether in vegetables, eggs, everything, they are all, or chickens, or maybe you are doing poultry, you have birds. I'm telling you, you can't recover how much unless you are the mean type that you don't take good care of your birds. If you take them care of them the way they should be taken care of, they will be big. They will even weigh well, because the last one I did, I weighed a few of our birds. They weighed as much as 5 kg, between 4 and 5 kg. You can see that we really fed them well. We fed them almost 3 times the food they needed, so that they can do well. And then at the end of the day, we got good results in 3 months. But now, forget about we're not talking about commercial now. Now, when your birds are ready, you can as well, instead of feeding them forever because they'll keep eating or they die, what you do is roast them like fish and package them very well, and let them, make sure it is very well dried, and then you keep them and then dash out what you want to dash out, and then sell. If you still have excesses, sell them, not for profit. Whatever rate is going on in the market, just sell it. But you can't recover your cost, because there's no way you will sell a roasted chicken for up to 4,000 naira. And whereas what will benefit you if you want to sell it is to sell it for 4,500 or even 5,000 naira, to be able to make a marginal something. So number 2 exception is economic trees. I know that by the time my people who we partner together to do palm tree farming would have been reading or watching my video on farming is not profitable. I'm sure some of them will say, oh, has this man not misled us to go and do this farming? But he introduced us to farming. Let me tell you how it works. My observation is, if you do palm tree farming, in the long run, you are going to make what I call not just profit, but a huge profit. All that I've been against in farming is cropping, annual cropping like maize, yams, cassava, name them, all those common things. But palm tree farming, you are not likely to make a loss at all. However, it has its own challenges. On feasibility studies, which I did, which I also now see the practical side of, I discovered that all those things stated in the feasibility studies don't work the way we think we have stated them. One, palm trees, they are very, very fragile, in fact, very difficult to maintain. very, very difficult to maintain, to survive. It is true. If they survive within 3 years, they will start fruiting. But 3 years can become 6 years or even more if you are very careful, particularly if you depend solely upon nature for water, especially water supply. I made the mistake of planting the palm trees and just clearing the bush and then leaving them there, thinking that enough water, the water that we have all through the rainy season, will be enough to sustain them through dry season. I made a silly mistake. For good 3 years, many a time I discovered that 70-80% of these palm trees don't survive dry season. That's the truth. Then, and you need to be tilling the place all the time, clearing the bush, doing everything. By the time another rain comes, you discover that 80% of them are already dead. So you have to replant again. You may do that. If that is happening to you, you can imagine it might take you even up to 7-8 years before you can get them all survived, if you are lucky. None. Secondly, another problem with the palm tree farm is that animals love eating the young ones so much, just like they eat ordinary grass. They love it because the body inside of it is sweet, just like sugar cane to them. So grass cutters love it. Rats, emo, if you know them, rodents, okete, they love it so much. And you can even, I did about 2,000 in my compound that have grown very well, shooting out with their thorns and all these things. One day I just went around there to see that they were dying, and the leaves were just drying up. What happened when I got there? These rats have eaten them completely. So it is. So you need to go extra miles to ensure that you have maybe Boko Haram net, when they are young, around them. That's what we did for those ones that survived eventually after experiencing the catastrophe of animal destruction. So if you don't do that one, all your palm trees may be gone. I think I had a case study of somebody who did a palm tree and even accessed the wires. And by the time the thing got to a point, be about 3 years after she got back there, they all blossomed, growing, doing well. So she decided to remove the protectors. Before you knew it, the following year, there was no single one left. Animals have completely destroyed them. So she had to change and then plant a thick tree instead of this thing. So I'm saying every item has its own challenges. So now, save all this. Now another thing about that, like water, I'm saying that if you depend on nature for supply of water, adequate water to water your palm trees so that they can grow quickly, you will lose. That's the truth. You will be replanting every year. So what I did last year, for instance, was to ensure that during dry season, I was watering all these things, wetting them at least twice a week throughout the rainy dry season. And I'm happy today that I'm succeeding. So save animals now. We have already protected them with irons, and God will help us to continue to get that done. Then we always keep the place clean so that grass cutters will decide, run away and all that. So don't depend upon water. When it is dry season, start wetting them. And if you don't do, next year you will replant again. So then maintenance of it is very, very difficult too, because during the rainy season, the bush grows very fast, and controlling them costs a lot. So in summary, when you do palm tree, for instance, as an economic tree, you will maintain heavily for the first 3 to 4 years. Heavily. You spend heavily. But when they start fruiting and the animals can no longer eat them and the pests can no longer destroy them and drought or dry season water seizure can no longer affect them, then you are into business. So thereafter they will start growing. But before you can really make, yes, they will start fruiting at about 3-4 years. But after that one, the fruits will still be small. Do not say you have arrived in terms of making profit. So the time you can make profit will be when these palm trees are getting to maybe they are as tall as maybe, let me put it, if they are about 10 meters tall or anything from say 6 to 7 meters tall. That time around, they will now start bringing big fruits that will have enough volume of palm oil. So those of you whom we are partnering together to do palm tree farming, don't be discouraged. The only thing is that, well, I think I've said it, I will take up the maintenance costs is huge, but since I'm doing it for you, I need to make it successful. I will take up that one if you but maybe I will keep records. By the time the palm trees are now doing well, that the time money start coming in, I can be recovering my money gradually, because I'm going to keep adequate records of how we maintain these farms. So don't be, that's why, because I know many of you will not do it if I keep asking you for money to do the thing. And yet I want you to succeed, because it's a good old age investment. It's good for retirement. It's something to retire to. Don't be surprised if you have like 150 palm trees, which is an hectare of land. You'll make a lot of money that will be good enough to sustain you, at least to add or to boost your incomes by the time you retire. So please never be discouraged. I'm still working. It is slow, but you just have to bear with me, because I too am committing huge resources into it. So for me to get the result out of the 3 farms I'm doing now, I thank God one is succeeding. One is succeeding already. So one after the other, I want to tackle them. So don't be afraid. Don't think your money is lost. And the only thing I will not do for you is crop farming. I will never, because if care is not taken, it can create problems between people who are friends. There is no way I can now tell you categorically. I've tried it for some of you. It has failed. I've not even been able to pay you back your money now. But the cardinal one, the most important one, is the palm tree thing. Just exercise patience. I won't tell you the day it will be ready. But I know, God willing, if God helps me the way I'm doing it, anyone that I handle, I want to handle it for at least 2-3 years to see that they are all steadily, they have all grown before I jump into another one, because of the resources. So I'm working on one now. I'm moving to another one this year by God's grace. I don't want to mention the names of the people, but I want to move to the next one, and God will help me. So all I can do is the cost of the most expensive part of it is controlling weeds. Too much. These things don't like so much bush. If you have too much bush around them, they won't grow underneath, and then animals will be destroying them and so on. That's where the challenge is. And I told you to brush an hectare now. Just brush, you're not packing. You spend nothing less than about 60 to 70,000 naira. That's true. So you can imagine that. So I can't rush. Let me do it the way I can. So surely palm tree farming or teak tree farming or any of those trees, trees, not annuity, not maize, not rice, not they can be profitable if you manage them well. And I pray that our own people will succeed. So fear not. Then the third one that is an exception is if you must engage in farming, be a food seller or food merchant. Even if you can't be the guy that can buy in large quantity to send overseas or anywhere, or you don't have all those ones, sell to the local people. Food vendoring, what you call if you buy food and sell. Buy and selling foodstuffs is okay. The only thing is you have to flow with the dynamics. That is, the dynamics is there are sometimes the prices will go up, there are sometimes will go down, but you are not likely to lose if you know how to manage your resources and your business very well. So the reason why it is profitable is that you are not bothered about your own cost begins only with transportation from where you are buying, and you factor in that price of cost of transportation into the amount you bought the product, and you divide it over it. You can add your own profit now and sell. Foodstuffs move fast. Tomatoes, yams, rice, gari, everything, they all move fast. If it is buying and selling, you buy them. The farmer has already suffered, which I told you is what I suffered. It is the farmers themselves who don't make profit in them. And those who produce the product like gari, they don't make profit, they lose. That's the truth. But if you buy and sell, there is already a standard price for selling gari. So you have your measure and you sell it that way. You can still add your profit, so you're not likely to lose. So if you are selling any of these products, even eggs, let me tell you, a crate of egg maximum here is sold for 850 naira. A crate of eggs, good one. Then by the time they buy at 800 or 850 naira, they sell it for, each of them is sold for I think it's sold for about 30, or I think it's more than about 30, 40 naira now, 40 naira per egg if it is big. By the time you do that one, multiply 30 by 4, that's 1,200 naira. 1,200, you buy at 850. The producer of the egg, the poultry farmer, did not make on that 850 that I sold it for you. He or she did not make even 50 naira gain. But you that bought it at 850 and sold it for 1,200, you know what that means. You are the one making the money. That's the truth. So that's why if you are buying and selling, you are not likely to lose unless there is a glut. The price of the egg, unless there is a season, because egg is seasonal. During Easter to move fast, and during this yam seasons, when new yam came out, everybody will be using egg to eat yam. But the moment those periods are gone, you may have your eggs not being purchased. So if you are a buyer and seller, you stop buying at that time. But the producer cannot. He will start producing, and then you see him selling cheaply. So all these things you need to understand. So in summary, the 3 exceptions that I know in crop farming that can help you is: 1, if you go for subsistent farming, if that one will profit your stomach and give you a little change if you do excess, if you do it a little bit big. Then number 2, economic trees like palm trees, like teak trees, like melina, like iroko, gao, all these bako trees. Every one of There's no tree that is not sellable. The beauty of that one is maintenance is very expensive at the beginning, at least for the first 3 years until they survive. Once they survive, they now grow on their own. They even outgrow the bushes, so at a point you don't clear any bush for them. If you have been maintaining, even if you do it skeletally, so that there will be no competition with other wild, and then animals will no longer destroy them as they used to do. So, and by the time they are, say, 10 years old, if it is teak tree, you start selling them. If it is palm tree, you already started harvesting good, making good money from maybe 5 to 6 years old. You start making good money from there. And that one you make until your lifetime, because you hand it over to your children. So the benefit of all these economic trees is that one, your land is appreciating in value, then the trees on them, they are yielding more money. But if it is teak tree, you cut it this year, I think it's an average of between 8 to 12 years that they are ripe properly for cutting. So that, but the money you make up from palm tree is more than you make for teak tree, no matter how much you sell them. But it's good to plant both or more, so that's my advice. Then thirdly, it is the buying and selling foodstuffs, especially perishable crop, annual crops, or all these maize, cassava, all these things. Once you don't go into real production, especially producing garri from cassava, you don't, for sale, you don't lose. But if you buy the ready-made cassava garri and sell it, the mistake you will also make is if you think you can buy cassava tubers and make garri for sale and make profit, you will lose. I can assure you, I've done it. I'm speaking from experience. So don't put yourself into that trouble. Just buy the fried garri, dried one, and dispose of quickly. Tomatoes, everything. When you buy and sell them, you make your money. God bless you. And then, please, I will still be doing these things as many times as I'm inspired, as I experience. If I have new knowledge, I will tell you. Please, don't go into commercial farming. Don't go into commercial farming apart from economic trees, buying and selling foodstuffs. And what's the third one now? Buying and selling economic trees. And I think you know them. I think there are three that I mentioned. Said buying and selling economic trees. Please check out. I've missed that now. So God bless you. Till we meet again, please remember to share these experiences. A lot of people are making the mistake of thinking, with all the noise on the radio, government deceptions and all this, the government themselves who are propagating, going to commercial farming, they are not practicing it, and they are not ready to support you to practice it. Even if they support you, you won't be able to pay the money back. It's not everybody that is greedy or anybody that is corrupt. It is because people don't make back their money. The money they spend it. So if don't stop pursuing loan for commercial farming. So do the little you can on your own, feed your family, and through that way we feed the nation. Government is very wise. They will never give you the maximum support. And the market is there controlling the price, which will not allow you to cost your product and add profit to it. So, and I don't know when this principle will go. So please, I beg you, don't go into commercial farming on cropping. You can do it on economic trees, but you will be ready to spend and be spent at the beginning. Another advice that I can give is those of you who will do farming for people. Hey, my brother is abroad or is in Lagos, and he wants me to do farm for him at home, so that when I retire, I meet with you. You have to support that man very well. And when he's telling you that it is not working, it is not working. And many of us don't even want to spend money. And you want to make gains. How many people will do it like I wanted to do it? Say, okay, don't worry, I will farm it for you. And then we can be recovering costs later. How many? Because why I'm saying that is I know that I must put everything that is needed into it before I start giving you, because I don't want to be telling story. If I keep asking you for money, you will think maybe this man is feeding on money on me. It's not so. And if you have had somebody who did it for you and it didn't work, don't blame him. Iṣẹ́ oko bí ìgbà tán bá níyàn wá jìyà ni o. I'm telling you. And know that the other person too who is doing it for you has his own problems. And unfortunately, what is coming from the farm is not solving your own problem for him. He's not solving his own. So at a point, he may abandon it, and don't be angry if he does. Because if you want to confirm what I'm saying, try do a little one on yourself. Do it by yourself. So, and that will convince you. God bless you. Have a very wonderful day. I pray that the one I venture in, God will give me the grace to make them work. I can see a better tomorrow. I see good things coming from commercial palm tree farming, which we are engaging in. So those of us who are doing it together, like I said, I take responsibility even for funding from now. When we get to the bridge, we shall cross it, but I will keep proper records. I will recover my money, God helping me, and I will be very transparent in all I do. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Please remember to share again. Press the like button, and kindly don't forget to subscribe. Notification button to press it so that you will know when I've posted something. I'm all out now to help people. I thank God to how much God has done for me. I'm not even rich in terms of money, and I'm not in pursuit of excessive wealth, but I'm comfortable on my own. And I can do a little bit of I do a little bit of all these things I'm telling you on subsistence basis. So what else am I looking for? If I want to now begin at my age, to want to amass wealth, then it means I want to put myself into temptation, lifetime temptation. So I'm contented and comfortable, not because I have so much. I don't even have excess, but I know that God is my sustainer. I rely on God for my daily bread. Give us this day our daily bread. So I'm only keeping my body and soul together by exercising the body, which is called, which the Bible says is of little profit. That little profit, I want to tap it. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.